Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's B-Boy Native from Philadelphia Crew in Philadelphia. Right now, I have B-Boy Omen on here. Omen, introduce yourself. Let them know what crew, what city you're from, and what you're currently doing now in the breaking scene.
Yo, kind of froze. I don't know if it's still recording, but this is B-Boy Omen. Currently living in LA, Supreme Beans crew, New York City. And I've been breaking for like about, um, it's about to be like 30 years now for me. I started when I was like 17, 16, and I'm 42 now, so I'm still here, still repping.
Yeah, no, that's sick. And tell people what you currently are doing in LA and what you have done recently, what you just came off of.
Sorry, my brother, but like, I don't know if the reception is off. I mean, I got all my bars and all that stuff, but I don't know. I couldn't hear that last question you gave
Yeah, I
me.
see. Yeah, I know. It's like it's choppy. My end is cool too. I don't know if it's is it good on your end? Did you hear me?
Looking
Hello?
dicey right now. I don't know what's going on.
Can you hear me? Everything's clear on my side. Can you? I can't. You good on your
Okay,
side?
okay. All right. Now it's good, but it was just like super like choppy, and it just stopped, like you froze and stuff like that. But ask the question again. My
Okay.
bad. I don't know what's going
No,
on. It's
no.
probably something.
So we're good. You can hear me and everything. You hear me? You can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Say it again.
Okay. No, I was just saying, let the people know what you just recently came off of in the breaking scene, like what you're trying to do.
Oh, okay. Well, recently I was on tour with an artist by the name of Eladio Carrion, Spanish artist, like a trap Spanish artist. If I can give you a brief description, he's kind of like the equivalent of Travis Scott in the Spanish world. So I was out there. We did a world tour. Took more than a year, and I just got off of it probably like a couple months ago, and just back at it again, trying to pursue this. Well, not trying, just pursuing this stunt industry as far as like a stunt man here in LA, and dance wise, um, just representing with my crew. And the next event that we're gonna be doing is gonna be me and Frankie. We're gonna go to Rock Harder, and that's Toronto. So it should be interesting. It's a 2-on-2. It happens 2 weeks from now. So I'm just getting ready for that. That's probably the next thing that I'm gonna do.
Nice, dope. And I just want to say, don't worry about how it's choppy. So this records locally. So when it's uploaded, everything's gonna be like flush. Don't even worry about that.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
that way I can hear the questions and I can give you like a proper answer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right. Dope. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No, that's dope. I think coming having a very long career within this breaking scene, especially like the toll that it does on your body, is just something else. But the fact that you were able to dance with different artists and bring what your specific characters or culture, I mean, it's really dope, man. I kind of want to go back right into when you started breaking. Right, you've been breaking for 30 years. You got down with Supreme Being Crew, but what do you think has led you into breaking? What have you seen like in your early career or in maybe in your early childhood of artistry that led you towards breaking?
Well, as far as that, what led me into breaking, my first exposures was my uncles. They're from New York, so they used to dance here and there, like family parties and things like that. Your feet in the air, all this crazy movement. You're just kind of like a kid watching. You imitate a little bit. It always stayed in the back of my head. I always thought that was cool, but around me, there wasn't a lot of dancers or access to the culture. Like I heard the music, but that's just pretty much as it was. Until like I got to high school. There was I think it was like in '99. I was like a freshman, and I saw in lunchtime I saw guys breaking in lunch. I just saw feet in the air and all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, yo, what the heck is going on? I go over there, check it out, ask some questions, and I end up finding out where they practice, and that was history right there.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, man. I feel like a lot of people had either family or they seen something happen like in their environment which led them towards breaking. And I see that obviously family has helped you, and obviously you've seen other people as well. And it led
Hmm.
you to going into this craft. And now you found different ways where you can elevate within this craft in this culture, which I think is really dope. Um, so having that
I mean,
early,
at first you kind of like get attracted to it because it's like cool looking, and people think if you do it, you get like the cool factor and stuff like that. Like, like anybody else, oh, this is dope. I want to do this at a party. I want to do the windmill at a party, and all the girls and all this stuff and
right?
whatever it may be. But then after a while, you start like understanding. I mean, I come from a sports background, so I'm competitive. You know what I mean? Like I love, you know, to compete and just like try, push the envelope and try to do my best at whatever I'm doing. So once I saw that side, it was a wrap, about the culture, about the style, about the innovation. What can you contribute? You know what I mean? Like all of that, understanding all of that made me want to just be more immersed in the culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's what's up. Kind of talk about that. So you had a sports background. Would you say that having a sports background is better for you to, flourish in battle competitions, right? We have battles, we have ciphers, and obviously you can learn how to approach the dance in both formats. But since you came from a sports background, do you think that helped you become a better battler?
I only got since you came from a sports background, and then everything got cut off.
Ah, man.
I
Eh,
don't know what's going on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. I was saying that coming from a sports background, do you feel like that helped you as far as having an edge in battle tactics when you're actually battling on the floor?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's a difference. You can kind of tell. You can kind of tell the personalities too. Like throughout the years, I've noticed this. You can tell who are the competitors and who are the people that are just here to like vibe, lounge, and just enjoy the culture. Or you can tell the people that are here that are just here to take. And when I say to take, it's just be in the way, do this because it's cool or as a pastime, and then jump on to something else. You know what I mean? But like me being a competitor, I stuck to it because I love the chess game. You know what I mean? I love like going to train something. It takes me a month or two, come back, display it at a battle, get the love for it, and then see the reactions of the judges and being like, "Oh, you got this," and it's just kind of like, hard work pays off type vibes. You know what I mean? So,
Mm.
um, I don't know. It's just like it's something that like I'm still here, man. Like I'm 42. I'm still here competing with my younger guys, the guys that I've recruited, or the guys that I've trained, the guys that've been in the crew since I've been in the crew. Like I'm still here, giving back, contributing, and doing all that I can just to keep the real culture alive. Because things have changed, and there's many different avenues now than before. So, because I started in the 90s, like late 90s. So, I just try to keep it real within myself. That's pretty much it.
Do you think that being highly competitive takes away from the art form, or is it a part of the art form being competitive?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
I said, do you think being competitive takes away from the art form, or is it a part of the art form? Does that really help out if you're more
I,
competitive, or you know?
I really think it depends on the person. To be honest with you, like for me, I love the culture of people, right? But I'm not the type that's gonna show up with some gazelles and some Puma suedes, and because it's just that wasn't my era. You know what I mean? Like that's like Ken Swift era. Those cats, they dress like that. Like I'm more of a '90s, late '90s, early 2000 b-boy, and I'm into fashion. I'm into culture. So it's kind of like I progress with the time. You know what I mean? Like I just try to like elevate, if that makes sense.
No, I got you. I got you. Yeah, talk about how you say you started breaking in the '90s, growing up in the '90s. Like,
Mhm.
how different is that scene from what it was back then to what it is now? And is the differentiality, is it better today, or do you think it was a little bit better back then?
It's a double edged sword. To be honest, it's just a double edged sword. Me growing up in the '90s, it was more. It was still a little rough. It was still a little hostile. You know what I'm saying? Um, like gang mentality, I would say. You know what I'm saying? My crew don't mess with your crew. I ain't talking to you guys. You know what I'm saying? There was sometimes there would be fights, between crews and stuff like that. And, it was more like gang mentality. And um the factor that biting was like a sin, you know what I mean? So it gave you, and there was less events. So there was less events and biting was not it, and I'm talking about people's style and people's movements, right? You couldn't bite people's styles or people movement because you get called out right away, and then the in between time, right? So I remember when there was only like 3 or 4 major jams, like major events a year. So you had time to train and sharpen your sword to display what you've been training. You know what I mean? And that's the difference. Now there's a jam every weekend. You got YouTube, access to anything, any type of styles you want. If you want to learn a style, you can just copy it. And, nobody's really going to say nothing. Like in reality, most of the promoters, they want the eyes to come to their, YouTube, YouTube channel, or they want the people to come to their events. It's a little bit of a more money driven situation. So, people are not really going to care about the biting and the whole thing, or whatever. That's why I feel breaking is a little stagnant right now. Everybody's kind of looking like everybody else. And, that's only going to change if, like, the new cats come out. The new cats come out. I see a lot of new talent, and they're kind of like reverting it. I think you know what I mean. Like I see a lot of cats caring about not looking like somebody else, making their own moves, and I commend that. Because I feel that everything is not done under the sun. Like I know there's a lot of pioneers that say that everything's done under the sun, whatever. They showing like 1918 people doing head drills and all this other stuff, and it's like, yeah, but that wasn't called breaking. Those moves weren't a part of the breaking vocabulary. Breaking started at this time, and then this combination of things, it's called breaking and b-boying. You know what I mean? Like that, and we can, so there's different forms, different styles that are still not created, I believe. There's so much that could be done in this breaking space, but it takes time. You know what I mean? As certain people have other, certain influence on groups of people, so it's just gonna take time for things to like rev up. But I think it's going in a good direction. I think it's reverting. You know what I mean? Big stage battles are getting kind of like redundant. Same styles. It's just kind of like boring. You know what I mean? You go to Europe, there's a jam every weekend. You can go to every country and there's a jam every weekend. So it's just kind of like the saturation. It's just ridiculous. But we'll see what happens, man. That it's like I said, it's a double-edged sword too. It's just kind of like I like competing, not as often as I used to, but just because I come from a sports background, that's just me. But I think there's a lot of cats out there right now that are like building and contributing, that are gonna get ready to come out and blow it up and do, inspire other people to do other things. You know what I mean? Not just look the same and all that. Man. It's a sad time right now, but I'm gonna keep that to myself.
No, no, man. We should talk about it. I kind of agree with you. I mean, I've only been
Nah,
breaking
I
for
feel you. I feel
16.
you.
I've been breaking for 16 years. I started in 2009, and my OGs taught me,
Right.
how foundation and footwork first. Top rock and footwork. Top rock drops, footwork and freezes, and then I learned power later. But like
Mhm.
2009 to like 2012, like we were always talking about levels and directions, going in and out of something. Like how can you change it, go on a dime stop, and like it was just a lot of variety within breaking. But once like breaking saw that it can get more exposure if you just focus on power and like you know um kind of cater to the mainstream audience, I feel like it's like a lackluster. So now, like when people
Mm-hmm.
go out, they'll do a choppy ass 3 step and then straight to like a crazy power round, which is dope. But like, I feel like we're not catering to our own people anymore. Now we're just catering to people so they can say ooh and ah and give me some money. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
I agree
but
with that for sure.
I kind of want to go back into something that you just touched about. It was kind of have people about to explode having their own style and creativity and really not trying to be biters. One of the things that I saw from you that I feel like a lot of people inadvertently has taken, not in a bad way, but I think taken in a good way as far as gaining knowledge, is that battle that you had. I forget who it was. I think it was either Nels or it was either Hijack. But you know that battle when you went out, it was Red Bull BC1. You was, you know what I'm saying, you had the drip on. You started going crazy. That round was crazy and it went viral. I think people want to attach to that and cultivate that type of energy, but they don't have either the mentors around them or they don't do enough research to understand what the culture is, or they just don't really know how to approach the dance because all they see nowadays is a stance highlight reel of somebody doing the power move. So if that's the case, what would you say to kind of the younger generation to understand how to cultivate their own style? How can they do that?
All right, because it was choppy. I just want to like verify you asking me how I can, say something to the next generation to help them cultivate their own style. That's what you're saying. What you're saying?
Yes. Yep. Correct.
Okay, cool. Well, this is something that I teach my younger guys in the crew. Right? I'm like, we all have different bodies. I know that they might like a certain style and they might emulate it because they see it all the time and it's programmed in their head. They watch it on YouTube repetitively. They watch it when they go, on their phone as they're going to sleep. So obviously these movements are gonna stay in your head and you're probably gonna perform them later on at practice, right? It's all good. Don't like don't think that by doing that I'm a biter, or what, or I'm just gonna like adopt this style or whatever. Look at the people around you. You said mentors, right? every all of us had mentors. It's funny to me when I see you know the like, let's say like your b-boys that are like late 20s early 30s and stuff, and they get interviewed and they're like, nah, I did this by myself. You know what I mean? Like, or they'll be like, I'm inspired by Ken Swift. You probably met him like twice. You know what I'm saying? Like, you haven't had a deep conversation with the cat. You don't know his philosophy on a lot of things, but you're inspired by him and you're inspired by his movement. And then, you just, and it's like, okay, like, I get that, but what's up with your crew? What's up with the people around you? What's up? You know what I mean? Because you're inspired by them heavily. You train with them all day, every day, all the time. Like, why you don't mention them? You know what I mean? Like, that's another thing. The younger cats right now, it's like they want the validation on their own. They're like, nah, it's all me. And it's like, bro, keep your elders alive. You don't have to freaking be like, he taught me everything I know. Be like, nah, this is one of, because I have a lot of like inspirations and I have a lot of mentors, that I've asked questions to them, specific questions, about their lifestyle, about what they did in the breaking scene and what they're doing in the breaking scene, and they had helped me with my movement and certain philosophies that they have that I've taken, and I've converted that on my own way and try to just express that my own way, and that's what I would say to the younger cats. Like, ask questions. You like a dancer, go up to them and ask questions. Like don't just look at their movement. Find out who they are as people. You know what I mean? And why they move in that way. What inspired them. That way you can find some inspiration for yourself, and then you can display whatever whatever you make up in your brain, or whatever movement that inspires you. And like I said, we have different bodies. We're not all gonna look the same. So stop training and stop dressing like the person that you like. You know what I'm saying? Train your own way, figure out your own style. You know what I mean? Like, dudes is just, they all down the line. You could put them in a line. I could see a seven of smoke. Everybody has the same silhouette on. It's like, it's crazy to me. And I'm just kind of like, whoa, and it's like, Okay, like there's no need for that. There's so much things that you haven't touched yet because you're not asking the questions. You're over here just like on YouTube and you want to get on this platform and that platform. You want to be a BC1. Everybody wants to be a BC1 Red Bull guy. Just kind of like in reality, like ask the Red Bull guys how it is when you see them. Like if you see Hong Ten or if you see Roxray or if you see Victor, go up to them and ask them. Be like, yo, how is this lifestyle? Like what? Like how do you what's the day by day? Like how hard was it to get here? And you know what I mean? Like make your own path. Like don't follow the same thing that everybody else is doing. Make your own path, and that's what I've been trying to tell my younger cats. And fortunately, they listen to me. So it's just like I love them even more for that. You know what I mean? Because I can say in my crew, Supreme Beings, we all have our own style. You know what I mean? Like we all break differently. We all have different philosophies. We're all individuals, but we all have one thing in common. We love this dance. Period. We
Yo,
love this dance.
yeah,
We love this culture, and we do hip hop our own way, but we still doing hip hop. Feel me?
no, 100%. I mean, you, Joel T, I mean, yeah, all the Supreme Beings for real are
Got
different. Like,
Spin, we got Jiggy, you know what I'm saying?
Jiggy,
We got
yeah, yeah, yeah.
we got B-Boy Phantom, you know
Come
what I
on,
mean? Like these,
come on.
we JK, she's doing her
Yeah.
thing and she has her own
Hmm.
style and she be traveling and she be performing, we Frankie, that dude's, I call him the
Frankie has
praying
been on the
mantis. He
map.
got
You and
crazy
him on
ass
the map for
styles.
right, right for a while. Um, Yo, do you think it's the access that we have, the internet and the access? It has to be because you got to think, like you said, when you were growing up in the '90s, when you were breaking, and I hear from all the, I won't put you as the OG because to me, I'm like 42. You're not that old. You know what I'm saying? You're still youthful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, appreciate
But
that.
Uh, but I'm pretty sure, and you could probably speak more on it. Like when you had to get the tape, right? You had to get tape.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
how. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't have access, so you had to go back into the lab, into your own mind,
I
or
mean, the
even with
difference
your.
the difference
You know what I
between
mean?
now and then when it comes down to the access, I think it's just like this. It's like when I had a tape, I got the tape and the jam was done 3 months ago by the time I had the tape. So I'm looking at what happened and I'm seeing all the new moves and all the crazy stuff. And you best believe I'm trying everything. I don't care. I'm gonna try this, I'm gonna try that, I'm gonna try this. And out of the mistakes of me trying these things and not succeeding, out of the mistakes, I create other things. Other things fell into play, at least like other movements, and I'm like, oh man, if I can't do this, then I can do this. And it's just every time I try to like look at a tape and get inspired, I would get inspired. I would go to train and I would try all these movements. And by me knowing that I'm not supposed to bite, by me knowing that I'm not supposed to look like anybody else, I always take Migas's advice, like, if you see something you like, flip it, right? So that's what I kept doing, like I kept trying to flip and innovate everything that I was receiving through my eyes and all this other stuff. Now it's more like I see a b-boy. This is what he's doing to get on that platform. So I'm gonna do exactly what he's doing because I have the time, the physical ability, the access. So I'm just gonna do it. It's easy. It's on YouTube. I can just copy exactly what he did. His whole journey. I can copy it and get to where he's at. And that's that little blueprint right there. That's what I think. That's kind of messing up breaking. A lot of people are just kind of going by that. Oh, I'm just gonna learn this, I'm gonna learn that, and then once I get to this platform, then I'm there. Instead of like learning the culture and seeing what this is about. You know what I mean? And those
No,
those
big.
those that's what I say. Like takers, those are the guys that come in. They don't care about none of this hip hop. They don't even listen to hip hop music like that. They just like breaking. You know what I mean? And they going in and they just breaking and taking people's movements and it don't matter. I don't care. People are just hating on me. They're just haters. And I was like, okay, we're just haters. But they ain't even doing it right. But it is what it is. I mean, you're right, my brother. And, you know, and just having a sense of pride too, like, you know, like a sense of pride when you come in and you sense of pride as far as like you go to practice, you build something, it's there, you did it, you display it at a gym, you get props for it. You know what I mean? And it's just kind of like bomb, you know, like yo, I did that. You know what I'm saying? My crew's happy. My city, I'm here. You know, they got my back. Da 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 da. But I see a lot of politicking these days, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of business talk. You know, and it's just kind of like, all right, I can see why. You feel me? But then again, it's like, you know, I consider this an art form always. You know, this is an art form, and it's a very physical art form, and it's demanding. So I just see a lot of the politics, you know, take it easy on certain cats that can't, you know, bring that demand of physicality. You know what I'm saying? Like that
Yeah.
they can't bring it like that. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like those guys fall back and they just politic a little bit more, get themselves in positions, make friends with this friend and that friend, and then you know, and that's how people get flown out. That's how you know they oh yeah, I'm gonna go to this jam to this country or whatever. It's just a lot of politicking or whatever. Before I was happier when it was more based on skills. You know, a new cat will come out. He was nasty. Yeah, he deserved it. You know what I'm saying? He just won 3, 4, 5 jams in a row. Yeah, nobody know who this guy is. Let's get him. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been in the cave training. You know, let's put him in this platform. Let's put him in that platform. You know what I mean? Like, and before everybody that was coming up and had kind of like you know momentum always had a chance. Now it's not like that no more. It's basically the same cats always, every weekend and every jam. You know, it takes what 5, 6, 7 years to see a new face, maybe. You know, and that has to come from either a promoter or somebody that's affiliated with some crew that's promoting something and da da da. Oh, it's the new cat from this guy, from this squad, and it's like, oh, that's cool. You know, like finally somebody new. You know what I mean? But before, man, like, yo, before it was always like somebody new. Even the Circus Runaway time, like those cats were new and they were weird, but they were a different element, something that was born out of this hip hop thing, out of this breaking thing. It was born out of it. You know what I mean? So it was just kind of like it was good to see because it was different. You know, you know I'm not fond of the style like that. You know what I mean? But it was different and it mixed it up. It mixed it up in jams and events and stuff like that, and it just brought something new. But now, you know, if nobody, you know, like you got everybody's looking like Stripes now. You know, that's my dude. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember battling with him in like 2002 and Evolution 2. You know what I mean? Like, and we were building back then. You know, and I'm happy and I'm proud of him too because he influenced the world now. You know, he's kind of like the new Migas, I would say. You know what I mean? Like Migas influenced a lot of the late '90s, early 2000 cats, especially the footwork cats, and he's influencing all this new generation, and that's pretty dope. But you know, that's him though. You know what I mean? Like you can't really. It's so crazy how things just like turned out. And you know, I'm just here sitting and I'm just watching the grand scheme of things because I ain't gonna go nowhere. I love this hip hop culture, so I live this. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm just gonna see
Yo,
guys come to the scene
right.
and go. I've seen that
Right.
already a couple times.
I'm one of them. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, nah, nah.
uh, um, nah, man, you touched on a lot of valid points too. And then with the stripes thing, not even with stripes, man. And then you probably feel me on this one too, where even no matter who I see, I don't care if it's a Ken Swift, a Victor, a Stripes, I
Mhm.
can think they're dope, but like I don't even care. Like I don't think somebody's that dope enough that I would want to take their style. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'm just like, okay, if they're doing something hot, that gives me energy to be like, yo, I'm gonna just keep going and doing what I'm doing because that's what this was about anyway. Just bringing your own flavor to the culture. That's what my OGs told me. One of my OGs was like, native, yo, you're tall, you're lanky. you wear glasses, you're a funny person, that's who you are. So bring that whole energy into your breaking. And then, because I remember before, I was trying to be like other people. I used to wish I was smaller. I used to wish I could break faster because that just wasn't me. So when I started falling into who I literally am as a person, everything just started to click. Okay, I didn't win every single jam, but like once people start to see you more, maybe they'll just start to invite you because they see you more, and now they're gonna maybe understand your style and like your style. And I feel like
Mhm.
cats nowadays is like, bump that. I'm just trying to, like you said, I'm trying to get on the Red Bull, bro. Like I'm trying to get sponsored, and then it's like,
That's
did
that's
you
the
even ask Victor? Is that like a dope lifestyle? Maybe he's not even making money that you think he is. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole bunch of convolution with that stuff, man. For
yeah,
real.
man, and that's a great point. You know, putting yourself into the dance and expressing yourself for who you are through the dance. You know, and there's a lot of actors out here, man. You know what I mean? Like dudes that act tough on the dance floor that don't live that lifestyle. You know, and then dudes that are just, you know, they just like I said, they just want to take. You know, they just want to take. They just want to be here. They want to see how he did it. I could do it. It's the TikTok generation. If I'm doing this, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing this. I could do one too. I could do it too. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get the hits too. You know what I'm saying? Like
You
that's basically
crazy.
nah, but you know, TikTok. That's how. That's the equivalent. That's the equivalent. That's how I
That's
see it.
true.
It's
Yeah.
like you got a whole bunch of TikTok babies coming into breaking and looking at it like, oh, I could do that dance because they're physically able or whatnot. Maybe they come from a martial art background. Maybe they play soccer. Maybe they football. You know, like myself. You know, and it's just kind of like, yeah, I could do that, and they just do the same exact thing instead of like understanding why these people are doing this, where they come from. You know, shit. What type of music you listen to? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Right.
crazy. You know, like none of
Hmm.
that. They just, you know, it is what it is. Like I said, TikTok culture. That's all I can say.
None of that, right? They just like, I'm biting. That's it.
Yeah, that's it, man. Because it's cool. You could do it at TikTok. If you do a dance on TikTok and you get 100,000 views, I'm gonna do the same dance you do.
Right. Right. It's all
Right,
about
this right here.
the views and the access now. The views and the subscriber. Crazy.
Yeah, that's it. So that's the
Oh
mentality
man.
that they go into breaking, and that's not what it's about.
No, not at all. I wanted to go back into actually the fashion part of it because I feel like I always tell people, for me at least, that how they have the four elements. I'm like, well, that's the fifth element. And like I know people say there's a whole bunch of different things that are fifth element, but for me, fashion is that. I see it in you as well. I believe you have a brand. Is it OMH? Is it that?
Yes, yes, yeah. Me and my boy
Yo,
Phantom, yeah,
yeah.
2011. You know, we pushing something. You know, we're just trying to push something different. You know, have something with a little content and philosophy behind it. You know, not just the brand that's just out there. And it's called OMH. For people that don't know, OMH, Originality Makes History. The name is self-explanatory. And it was just something, you know, for uh for you know just to understand the for people to understand. We two individuals that come from a hip hop background, and we want to push that narrative. Originality makes history. We want to put that into the younger cats. Like, stay focused, keep working on your craft, and make sure that you stay original. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much that's the brand right there. But as far as fashion, all right, when I was coming up, I was taught, right, especially when I went to New York. When I went to New York and I learned, you know, the foundation of everything. B-boys, they were fly from the beginning, right? I heard so many stories about B-boys coming in with certain garments and certain things, and other people describing other B-boys like, yo, when I was at the party and I saw my man's walk in and he was dressed all white and he had a gold chain on and he had the Kango to the side. You know, my man was clean, he was smelling nice, da 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 da. Da. I think that everybody that I think that's one of the elements that everybody missed. To be honest with you, even myself, when I was coming up, I learned about it. I didn't get it until later. You know what I mean? I didn't. I was just like, oh, okay, like okay, I get this now. You know what I mean? Like I'm getting older. I'm starting to care about how I look and how I present myself, and especially in any platform. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not walking out the crib if I'm not feeling good with what I wear with what I'm wearing. You know what I
Big
mean?
big
So
fact.
it's like, yeah, man. So it's like that's an important thing within the culture. But then again, people are not doing it. Why? Because they don't dig into the culture. They just want the competitive side. They want the platform. They want the views. They want the acknowledgement. And I get it, but there's so much more to this. There's so much more to the b-boy thing, to the hip hop culture thing, to the music, the style, how the way you talk, the way you move. You know what I'm saying? Even the way you shake your hand, in somebody's hand and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like how you approach a brother and shit. So it's kind of like,
Right.
this it's certain things, man, that just get overlooked. And like you said earlier, I think it's just access. Access is kind of messing things up and making making a difference slowly, I would say, because channels like yours right now that is getting people's insight and things like that helps the narrative. You know what I'm saying? That helps push the correct narrative, like that, like learn about individuals. You're talking to me, somebody's gonna watch this, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, that's how Omen is, whatever, and that's how he thinks or whatever, and and that's helping. So it's always like a double-edged sword thing. But fashion is very important. Your own fashion too. You know what I mean? You want to
Oh
make sure
yeah.
that you don't look like nobody. Man. You want to
Hmm.
be exclusive. The b-boys were exclusive. There was dudes would just sit there and cross their arms and just look around the party, and their presence alone made everybody be like, oh, damn, yo, who's that kid? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, yo, who's that
Hmm.
kid? I want to have that presence at an event now. I'm
Oh
thinking
yeah.
1982. I'm thinking 2026. I want to walk into a jam, dipped out, dripped out, pose up in a little corner, and everybody looking like, yo, who that? You know what I'm saying? I want to do that. Yeah, I want to do that. I want to be that cat. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to be that cat because I know for a fact that even if I lose the competition, I won the event.
Boom. Come on.
You know what I'm saying? I won
Come on.
because people are gonna talk about my style. They're gonna talk about what I was wearing, how I was smelling, how I was communicating and moving through the crowd, how I was displaying my movement in the main stage. You feel me? Oh, but he didn't win. Nah, he didn't win. But this dude was fly from top to bottom. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically what it is. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's it. I already won the jam. Like I already won the battle. Like y'all can keep the trophy. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all keep it because you know what? You could pose with a lot of the cats right now don't even think about it like this. You could pose with the trophy today, and today you're a champion. But as soon as the day is over, you're back to being a contender again.
Big facts. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You're just a champion for
Hmm.
the moment. That's just like a moment thing. You know what I mean? Like, half the time I'll be like, yo, who won that jam the other? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who won. Let me go online. I'll be like, you know what? Better yet, who do you remember from the jam? Oh shit, I remember so and so, blah 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 blah. You get what I'm saying? And it's like, how
Right.
do you remember that person that didn't win, or maybe didn't even enter, but you don't even remember the champion? That says
Mm.
a lot. Says a lot.
Hmm. No, big. And it's crazy too, cause like when I was growing up, my boy Breeze, my homie Box One, like Box One, me, Box One, and Breeze, like we all grew up together, brothers, same crew. Before we were in Illadelph Flav, the OGs put us down. We
Mm,
had our own crew, KRS. Like we was
mm,
like strictly a brotherhood. I remember going. We would all before we even go to jams. We would chill, bust it up, just be boys, whatever. We made sure that like if any of us had anything on the same, nah, somebody got to change. You got on the same sneakers? Nah, that ain't flying, bro. Like you cannot have the same outfit as me. You can't have the same sneakers as me. Like that's not happening. You know what I'm saying? Now
yeah,
when I
I
go to a
feel you.
jam, everybody got the P6000s. Everybody got the
Boom.
Nike. Come on, the Nike TNs or whatever, all black. Everyone would wear the baggy jeans, bro. Like you said, it's
Mm-hmm.
the same silhouette, and it's like, bro, I can't tell who from who. And now
Mm-hmm.
I can't even tell your style from different style because you want the same style.
Exactly.
So now we go into the jams, style jacking, everything, style jacking, literally everything.
Mm-hmm.
And till this day, me and my boys, we'll go to a jam, we'll look around, be like, yeah, this joint gonna be whack. I'd be like, why? And he'd be like, why? I'd be like, yo, you see both of them next to each other? Why they got the same sneakers on? That's what we would look at. We'd be like, they got the same sneakers on, dog. This shit gonna be whack.
Yeah, that's crazy. No, but
Yo,
that's real though. That's real. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that's just what it is. You just look at it like, damn, dog, like what's going on?
yeah.
Yo, it's wild, but
Yo,
man, I
yo,
don't know what to say,
could you
man.
tell everybody a story of how like outside of breaking culture, whether it's fashion, whether it's sports, that actually inspired you to be like, yo, I like what they're doing in this type of environment and I want to bring that back to like breaking. Is there a moment like that in your life?
Oh yeah, nah. I mean the fashion alone, bro. That's like one of the main things because I saw how things were changing, and definitely I'm a '90s kid, so you know baggy jeans, baggy clothes. You know, I changed in my early 20s. I changed because society. You know what I mean? I basically that got invented in me, and it's just kind of like I need to get a job. I need to do this. I need to look a certain way. I need to be, you know, I need to do, you know, wear tighter jeans or put some shoes on instead of some Nikes or you know what I mean. And I went through that phase, and going through that phase, and growing up, just realizing that you know now that I'm 42, I'm just reverting to my original steez. You know what I mean? Like I should, you know, I'm looking back, I'm like, dang, you know, like uh, a lot of the younger cats are looking at my generation and getting inspired as far as style wise, and they're bringing back a lot of things that I used to wear when I was 15, 16. So you know it's definitely inspiring to see the fashion community rise up and kind of like recycle certain things and reinvent certain things and you know be successful. So definitely inspired by current fashion, to just stay in the scene and bring inspiration from that in the scene. Inspire my crew, inspire anybody that's training with me, and be like, yo, my man, you know, you should rock these. I think this will look good on you. And then, oh, I didn't know about that. Be like, yeah, this is new. I just found out about this like a week ago. You know what I mean? Like, yo, try this out. And, oh, damn, thanks, man. You know what I mean? Yeah, no doubt. It's all good. It's all love. We just sharing. You know what I'm saying? Sharing ideas, sharing silhouettes, sharing, you know, vibes and things like that. Silhouettes are important because that's how people view you. You know what I mean? Especially in the scene. A lot of people don't really think about it like that, but you know, if you show me a silhouette of abstract, I'm gonna be like, yo, that's abstract. If you show me somebody a silhouette of a K Mel, I'm gonna be like, yo, he's moving like K, like that's K Mel. Like I
Hmm.
know his moves and stuff like that. So although we don't see it or we don't pay attention to it, we're just looking at a lot of silhouettes. You know, if you black everything out, everything is a silhouette. So you don't want to have the same silhouette as the next man. You know what I mean? You want to stand out within your own frame and your own shapes. So like really think about that the next time you go into an event, like how you layering, type of colors you wearing. You know, like there was one time that I was doing jams and like what was it? I was wearing like the compression pants and the shorts and like track, you know, like the matching track jackets with the shorts and stuff. Like I look like a runner,
Yeah.
and I just wanted to
Yeah.
do that just to, you know, I wanted to do that just to bring something different. Be like, you know what I mean? Like it was just because it was crazy. Everybody was just looking the same, and then you know, you had the cast that was feeling my stuff, and then you had the cast that were like, I don't know if I could do the shorts and tights and stuff. Oh, no, that's crazy. And I'm like, yo, but you know what I'm saying? Like, hey,
Right.
I'm just trying to, you know, trying to do something new out here. You feel me? And like, and it worked because people were recognizing me for that. And then, you know, I changed the style up again. You know, gotta always reinvent yourself every 5 years. You know, always upgrade. You know what I mean? Like new moves, new
New
silhouettes. That's
drip.
how I see it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Yep.
Every
Come
five
on.
years, man, reinvent yourself. Keep striving to like change the vibes. You know, even though it's you, just change it up. Change it up for yourself. You know, keep yourself fresh at all times.
Hmm. Yeah, I think one thing that I've noticed, especially since I've been taking like more of a, back seat as far as like being in the scene, is like when I knew my era was the 2010 era, your era was the 90s, but our like influencers were the celebrities, right? You got the Michael
Mm,
Jordans, you got the Iversons, you got the
mhm,
actors, whatever actors
mhm,
that you like to watch in movies, or you saw a cool joint from Friday, what I'm saying, where you had Ice Cube and Chris Tucker. And then nowadays, I feel like generation is like, since everything is online, the influencer literally can be your next door neighbor. So now we jocking styles from my next door neighbors who really, they're not really influencers. You know what I'm saying? They didn't really create something of that esteem where they can have that title. But like, since
mm,
people see a huge following, 100K online, I feel like they try to cultivate like, oh, I can be like this person because I'm so close. Where when we were
mhm,
growing up, it was like, there's no way I'm gonna be an MJ. Not saying that I can't be MJ, but MJ was just his own thing. So you can
mhm.
aspire to do something that he did, but you didn't want to aspire to be him. Exactly.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly.
But
Mhm.
now people aspire to be whoever their favorite influencer is. And since they're close in commodity, I can be just like them. And I feel like that still same thing carries over to breaking. And then as far as the fashion, as you spoke of, and the silhouettes, one thing that I also see within like when we're going to jams is like you said, say if you turn off all the lights and then you can't tell a person's silhouette from another person. I feel like people are getting away from when you're entering a jam and then you're in the cipher and absorbing, really trying to understand cipher etiquette, see what everybody's doing and say, okay, how different can I be from everybody else there? I don't see that happening anymore. Me and my boys, we would go to a jam. I literally just chill. I would do a couple rounds, warm up, see everybody moving. I'm like, everybody did this, whatever the moves was. I'm like, I'm gonna try to not do that one single move one time. Do everything different. And that's I feel like how you can stand out. But nowadays, people rushing into the cipher. There's no cipher etiquette. Those cipher competitions just to get into the top 16, that's whack. It's like, man, we're losing almost our consciousness when it's coming to breaking. Now, for you, Omen, is that something that you were still trying to teach, like your youngins and the kids that you're trying to grow up within the culture, or is that something that you think,
Absolutely.
okay,
Absolutely, man. Like cipher etiquette is important, and I agree with what you're saying. Like we can't nowadays we can't have a cipher qualification for a top
that's
16.
just whack?
Like
Oh
that
man,
is whack. It's just straight whack. Like I did one in New York not so long ago, and I was just like, yo, this is ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like people are just dancing on top of each other. And they're just not understanding. So they need time. They need time to understand how that works and that language within that cipher. And there's plenty of ways to understand it other than just going to a workshop. You can just stand in a cipher and observe the older generation, how they move.
right? Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like go to the older cipher and just stand there. You know how many times I used to go to just ciphers and stand there? And then my generation was even crazier because I would stand there and if I even dare to try to go in, somebody would put a hand on my chest like, yo, back up, kid. And I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
don't.
all right.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah, yeah,
even, and it's like, nah, this not for you type vibe. You know what I mean? If I do that, they're gonna call the police now. I assaulted me. I'm sensitive and all this other crap, and that's just kind of like,
man.
whoa, you know what I mean? Like this is crazy. But yeah, man, cipher etiquette, man, that's something that I definitely teach anybody that practices with me that has any questions because I'm a very open person. I go to any practice. I don't care. You know how certain cats be like, nah, I don't like it there because people be looking at me. It's like, nah, I don't care. Let them look at me. You know what I mean? Let them look at me. Let them get inspired. Let them talk to me. That way I can spread these gems and be like, yo, you're doing this wrong. You don't have to take it from me, but I'm just trying to help you out because the reason that I try to help out the scene as much as I can is because that's the only way I'm going to get better. If there's a whole bunch of whack dudes, then I'm going to be whack. Because it's just, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be whack. It's just gonna be like, yo, I don't, like I feel that I'm gonna be whack because I'm gonna be smoking these dudes mad easily, because they don't understand nothing. So it's like, nah, let me educate. That way people could get better and give me a run for their money. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm competitive and I'm always gonna be like this, and I still can do all my moves. You know what I mean? Air flares and all that. I can still do all that. I stay in shape. My mental's right, my body's right, the soul's right. So like I'm ready to for war anytime. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, so I like the competition. I like to go against dudes that are better than me, that are gonna smoke me. That, you know, that still hasn't happened yet, but you know, I'm looking for it. You know what I'm saying? But like, you know, that's just the whole part. Like, I don't know. I see it that way, and I understand why other people don't see it that way. Maybe, you know, but yo, come on, man.
Right. Come
Come
on,
on,
B.
man.
Come on.
Let's get right. Let's get right. You know, let's get right. You know, let's not ignore the guys that have been here 15 plus years, 20 plus years. You know, some of these young kids are mad ignorant, and you know, they're not truthful either. Too. I know a lot of cats that, you know, been through the teachings and made it in a certain level, and you know, don't even mention nothing. Be like, nah, I'm here because I put in the work, and it's like, bro, you know, there's a connection, there's a chain, right? There's a chain of people that put you on this platform. You know, you have to
Come
really
on.
look back.
Come on.
Come on, man.
Yep.
Let's keep your OGs alive, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's crazy too that like nowadays cats cats is really getting smoked. So I remember growing up, we would get smoked, you know what I'm saying? Because we was early in our career, but like once we
Mm.
really cultivated like our own style and the development and the way of thinking, like I would me and my whole crew, we could never get smoked. We may lose, but if you go somebody, yo, did I get smoked? Nah, you didn't get smoked. They beat you, but they didn't smoke you, bro. Like
Yeah, man.
that was a thing where it was like, nah, there's no way you can let somebody else smoke you because that was bad.
That
OGs
was
be like,
bad.
no, that was really bad. You didn't want to get smoked. You got smoked. That means you asked for real. Like that you asked for real, dog. I don't know how you got smoked. That's crazy, bro. But nah,
That's
you
crazy.
know what I mean?
Yeah, man. That's what I'm looking for. That's why, like I said, anybody that's training around me or is training under me, you know what I mean? I'm always gonna try to like do the best that I can to educate the best that I can, you know, through my perspective. You know what I mean? Because I wanna see the scene succeed. I wanna see the younger cats succeed. You know what I mean? I wanna have a problem when I'm in a cipher and a 15-year-old come out and he's doing some crazy stuff that I'm just kinda like, okay, he talking to me. You know what I'm saying? He's not just on his hands, you know, doing all. Nah, he's doing vocabulary, dancing. He got dope
Come on.
spit on my man. You know what I'm saying? I want to see that. I want that challenge.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. Um, all right, this is one of my last questions, and I think you can definitely answer this one. So now I know we talked about style jacking and actually like having people watching people and literally taking their whole, arsenal. This is one of the questions that I want to ask like each person that I have on. So how, Omen, could you tell the viewers like instead of taking styles like your insights of how you actually think when you're going out in cipher, how you think when you're going in practice, I'm gonna try to go in this way, that way. Like what is your thought process when you're doing any of the platforms, whether it's a battle, whether it's a cipher or even at practice? Like how are you thinking when you're approaching that?
Uh, when it comes down to a battle, let's say like a competition, there's judges, right? So I'm people may or may not know this, but there's a competition, there's a criteria. And now you have to like cater to these three individuals that are sitting down, right? Research the three individuals, what they like, what they don't like. You know what I'm saying? Research. If you, this is coming from a competitive side, right? And I'm going to give you the other side. From a competitive side, research who these individuals are, what they like. You know what I mean? I'm not saying go up to them and talk to them and try to like get on their good side. No, just understand their point of view of breaking, what they like and what they don't like. You have an array of arsenals that you train all the time. I train at least like 3 days a week, you know? So with that being said, if I'm gonna enter this competition and I know that these certain cats are gonna be there, I'm gonna be like, all right, I know that he be digging this type of stuff, this type of stuff, this type of stuff. What in my arsenal I have that kind of resembles or is close to that? I'm gonna focus on that, and this is what I'm gonna like be training until the time comes of me to battle. Feel me? Or you can go to the other approach. I'm fly. I go in there. It don't matter if they like me or not. It's whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's either that. You know what I mean? You could
Yep.
do either or. But like I said, I come from a competitive background. So I play chess, not checkers. You feel me? So like, I look at what's going on and I assess the situation and I apply accordingly. You feel me? And that's what I've been always trying to teach my younger cats to understand that part of the game because that is part of the game, you know? As long as you understand that and that only works in the competitive platform. You know what I'm saying? Like everything else, it's just you. You know what I mean? See what you got, see what you bring. You know what I mean? Like how do you make other people feel? You know? And it's hard these days because the music ain't up to par either. Feel me? You got all this repetitive craziness. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you don't, you know what I mean? You
Crazy.
can't. Oh, come on, man. You already
Come
know.
on, dog.
Like I like to dance, my G. You know what I'm saying? I like to get down. I like to groove. You know what I'm saying? Stay in my pocket. You know, I don't want to go down yet. I want to vibe up top for a second. You feel me? Like, and the music, the music is important. You know, like the reason that there was that the '90s and the early 2000s was so inspiring was because of the music, bro. And people tend to forget that. You know, like the music made the dancer feel a certain type of way. Their reaction from listening to that is what created the moment. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you want that back, bring that sound back, and you'll see cats reacting to certain sonics that it's just gonna convert them. You know what I mean? It's just it's catching the Holy Ghost or being in the zone or you know
Yep.
what I mean? Like zoning out, all this other stuff. It's that energy. The cipher energy. And you know exactly what I'm talking about, man. Like it's
Come on.
just it's hard to explain to these young cats because it's like they grew up with a lot of like uh, um manufactured breaks, and it's not a bad thing, you know what I mean? But like, yo, dance in front of a live band to see how you feel. You feel me? Play play regular James, like the JBs and James Brown. Like play the regular joint, not the mixed one.
Come
Just
on.
play the whole song. Just play the whole
Yeah.
song. Play the whole song.
Mm-hmm.
See what you're gonna do. Are you gonna be, doing this with your legs and stopping on beat and doing nah, be like you know what I'm saying? There's so much shit going on in the track that shit is not gonna work because you already these kids are programmed with the whole 8 bars, 16 bars, you know what I mean? And then when the joint hits, bing, oh, it's like yeah, because you already knew that shit was coming because they already ran like 100 times before. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like but
Yeah.
like put a new track, put a funk song on. See how you ride that. You know what I mean? Like
Come on. Yo.
that's what it is,
Yo.
man.
My OGs, this is one thing that I take very seriously and I appreciate that they taught me. Like James Brown, like you said, all the old JBs, all that old school funk music. My OG would put us and we would be in a room. He'd be like, "No, we're not breaking today." That's number one. If you got OG and they say you got to break every day, that was especially if you're learning. Maybe that's not the OG for you. But anyway, he sat us down. We was listening to the '70s funk music. He would literally be like, "Yo, how many instruments can you hear?" And I'd be like, "What? Like, what are you talking about?" Like, you got the drums, you got some horns. That's about it. And he was like, he'll listen. And he'd be like, "It's probably like 7 different instruments in there. So you got to name all of them before you even break." And then we would just be sitting there, just like, "Damn." Oh no, you get all 7. He'll play the track again and again and
Mm-hmm.
again. We got it. I remember we was at practice all day. You guys box, you guys bend, you guys breeze, and we'd be like, damn. And it'd be 3 hours. We didn't break the whole time, but we understand. We figured out that song because we heard it one for 3 hours and two. It's like now we appreciate it more because every time
Mm-hmm.
we were listening to it, oh, did you hear a what was that? Oh, you heard that little thing when it came up? It was like ding. Like, you know what I mean? And it, like you said, you appreciate the music, it makes you understand it, and then you start to move differently. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the goal, just to be different. You know what I mean? And I see that in you. I see that in the Supreme Beings, and I'm knowing you're teaching your young boys. So that's what's up, man. I really do respect that.
Yeah, man. It's all about embodying it, right? Like once you listen to it so many times, then and you get that track wherever you at in a jam or whatever, and you heard that song so many times, but you still get that joy of listening to the sound, and you just kind of getting funky and just kind of like, oh, and then you start embodying the song, and you know, the first like 2-3 minutes of the track, you topping, but the shit is so flavor that ain't nobody saying nothing. They just kind of like, yo, he's killing it, he's in the zone. You know what I'm saying? Because you're embodying that song, you're embodying the music, and you're just speaking. You're talking. You know what I'm saying? And it's a
Right.
beautiful thing to see. That's why I always like Philly. When it comes down to Philly too, like y'all always been funky since I started, and I started in '97. You know what I'm saying? Like '96. And you always used to hear about certain cats from over there because, there was no YouTube. So, I used to hear, like cats like Turbo. Was Remedy from over there? Remedy was from over there? Bboy Remedy. He was an old cat. Like when I started,
Mm.
he kind of quit. Um, all the LFA Hussein. Um,
Hussein. Yep.
yo,
Joe
crazy.
Son.
What,
Yep.
bro? Come on, man. People forgot about those cats, man. And those cats are right now. If he was to come back with the stuff that he was doing back then, he'll smoke mad people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You
Hussein
know?
can still do crazy power, bro. It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
man. Much love and respect to all the Philly cats, man. Because like y'all always held it down, and even the new cats, man. Like Wiz and um, what is it? The guy.
Mach 5.
Yeah, Mark 5, Mark 5. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Nah, they're doing their thing. They're doing their thing, man. And it's good
Mm-hmm.
to see. It's good to see,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, man, it's just love, bro. Like that's inspiration to me. You know what I'm saying? That's
That's what's up.
inspirational to me. You know?
Wait, who do you, and this would be a last one. I know I had a couple last ones, but it's just
Nah, it's
we
all good,
flowing
man.
right
I'm
now.
chilling, bro. I'm chilling for the day,
All
man.
right,
I'm
bet
good.
bet.
You can ask as many questions as you want.
Who do you think now in the newer generation? So not even Mark 5 in them, but like who do you think in the newer generation now is kind of keeping the mantle, keeping the flame alive? You know what I'm saying? Encompassing what a real b-boy is, or a b-girl. It could be a b-girl too. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's a very hard question because like the cats that I
Damn.
do see, the cats. I'm gonna break it down though. The cats that I do see like getting down, they still have a lot to learn, but they're doing it the right way. You know what I'm saying? And it's that is a very hard situation because it's more competitive now. So the styles have changed. So it's like there's not a lot of people getting funky, and that's what I like. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of tops and a lot of like different get downs and concepts, right? Like concepts and stuff like that. Like these things are not being displayed as much as it was before, but right now, new cats on some breaking b-boy stuff. I would say like Lynx is nasty, you know. Lynx is like one of the guys that like not very funky. That's my guy. He's not that funky, but his technique. Hey,
Yeah.
I'll keep it real, son. You know what I mean? Like I'm not even gonna, sugarcoat it. But I like his technique. He breaks like like the Germans, like Battle Squad, and like you know what I mean, like those type like that type of style. You know what I mean? Like very powerful footwork, very clean, precise, to the point. Like I like that because it's very reminiscent of that style. That's one cat. This I haven't really been paying attention to the mass scale of things, because it's kind of like my younger guys, I focus more on my younger guys, like Joe T, Spindian, I put my attention and my energy towards them. That way they can understand where I'm coming from and understand what the other guys are coming from, and they can implement their own stuff to it. So like I would definitely have to say my crew because Joti and Spin are two like sleepers, like they're doing life right now. So that's why you don't really see them a lot. But they're gonna once they come out again, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, these guys they've been in the cave, but they've been training. You know what I mean? So,
Mm.
but yeah, man, I'm looking at cats like from Japan and stuff. There's this kid named Minix. Minix? Minix or something like that. He's from Japan. He's only like a 15-year-old little kid, and like he friend requested me, and I've been just watching his footage. That kid's crazy, and he's a hip hop head. So he's only 15 years old. So I can't wait to see him in the next 5 years. You feel me? And it's there's a couple cats too out here that are younger, like little kids, 12, 13, that are training here in LA with Mach 3. Mach 3, he's from Skill Methods, Full Circle. And he lives out here as well. And he's been training this group of kids, and those kids are amazing. You know what I mean? And they get in the real deal culture from New York, and they live in LA, so they get in the LA side too. So their understanding is a little bit advanced. And as far as like new kids or kids that are like doing things now and competing more and all this other stuff. Yeah, I mean, I can't really like off the top of the dome. I haven't been really looking at competitions like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I just been
No,
trying to
that's
keep
cool.
to
I haven't either.
myself, trying to build my arsenal. As far as myself, because just working on myself, man. Like I did the competition thing. I was part of B-Boy World. I traveled already the world breaking. Like there's not really, I never had the desire to be like a Red Bull champion or anything like that. That wasn't in my, like I didn't really, I competed in it because it was like a competition. But it wasn't like, yo, I'm trying to get this belt and I'm trying to, you know what I mean? Like that wasn't what I wanted. I just wanted to represent who I am, and what I'm doing, and my style, and just people to appreciate my style. That's pretty much it. Like I don't care if I win or lose. I just want my style to be like, a timeless style. So when it's all said and done, and the doctor be like, yo, you can't break no more. You're gonna die some type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like if he said that, then I put the best energy that I could put into this culture, and I try to implement positive, ideas and positive energy to all the younger cats. And my digital trail is impeccable. You know what I'm saying? Just Google me and you'll find millions of videos. You know what I
Facts.
mean? Of like, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like find millions of videos of that I've been, and I probably battled, your favorite B-boy, and gave it to him and still
I was
lost.
gonna
And I
say
don't
probably
care. You know what I
smoking.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, nah, man. You know what I'm
For
saying? I
real.
always like it's not even about getting played. I understand the system because even with the Rocks Right versus me and freestyle session, like a lot of people came up to me and was like, "Yo, I think you won," and I'm like, "Yo, it's all good." I was like, "It's all good. I ain't even mad about it." It's like, "Yeah, I think I won too, but it's okay." You know what I mean? Like, look who I'm battling. That dude's
Mm-hmm.
the king of the West Coast. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's loved by millions and all this other stuff. But footage never lies, though. Feel me? And with
Fact.
him, it's like I already told him. I was like, "Yo, man, I ain't losing to you again. I'm competitive, bro. Like I'm not taking it personal. I'm not gonna personally attack you, but I will come up to you and be like, "Yo, you beat me right now, but the next time that shit ain't happening, B. Just know that. You feel me?
That's some like
They
90s
can
shit,
take it.
bro.
No, I mean, you just gotta let them know, man. Some people are gonna take offense, and some people are gonna understand and be like, "Yo, that's what's up." Be like, "Yo, stay ready, cause I'm gonna stay ready." And when I see you, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I can call you out in the cipher, and I can smoke you in the cycle, whatever. But that's not gonna make no difference, cause that's not what this is about nowadays. It's
Right.
about getting, beating somebody in a certain platform. So yeah. I was like, I'm gonna see you again. It's all good. And next time I'm gonna see you, it's like I'm gonna make it even way harder. So you better fucking come with it, B, because it's not gonna be no games.
I'm telling you that you can't say that to no young boy, bro. I'm telling you.
Oh nah, man, they're gonna start crying and they're gonna be like, yo, this dude don't like me, he's an asshole, he's this and that, and I'm
Oh
man,
man.
fuck out of here with that shit, man. Like, if you don't know how the game works, man, you know what I mean? Like, go over there or something, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have time to be freaking explaining to you how this works, B. You should know already. Let's get it. I mean, if you
Crazy.
smoke me, if you beat me, if you smoke me and you beat me, I'm gonna give you pound, bro. I'm gonna be like, word. That means I need to go practice. You know what I'm saying? That means I need to go to the lab, and I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna get my W. You know what I'm saying? You took my W right now, but you know, I'm gonna get that back though. Like, believe that. And that's what
Right.
keeps me going. A lot of people, you know, yo, you 42. Yeah, I love this shit, bro. I love competing. I love it. I love it, whether in a cipher or in the competition. For me, it's about what you're saying to me, like beyond the basics. Like if I'm battling you, I'm gonna hit you with my movement that I created, my movement that I catered. You know, that like I freaking do. That's me. I'm not gonna do nobody else.
Hmm.
I want to see you like
Right.
beyond the basics. Don't come at me on some 6 step CC left right now, man. I want to see what you have contributed to this culture.
Mm. Yeah,
Because
exactly.
creating your own style is a contribution to this culture. And people don't understand that. When you create your own style, that's like the ultimate contribution that you can contribute to the culture. Because you're going to inspire other people to create their own style. And then, therefore, things are different. That's how it's supposed to be, but it ain't like that. You know what I'm
Oh man. No, man. I
saying?
appreciate this whole conversation, man. This is very refreshing. I feel you, man. It's wild, but like people like you, your crew, people like me, my crew, we're still out here. We're still advocating for like real style, people being themselves, and that's what it's about, man. And hopefully my
Yeah, man.
platform can help people like kind of see that because like all these posts that I'm doing, 100 breakers, 100 stories, like I want this to change a b-boy or b-girl's life in a way where it's like, oh, I never thought about it like that. Let me try to approach it in the way that they said instead of like just following what they see. Because all they do is see, on the feed, but like they never really talk to anybody. So I want this to be the platform that even if you don't talk to them, like they're speaking through you through the screen and like, hey, I'm talking to you. This is what you need to learn. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah, man. And
And
yo,
you
and I
and you
appreciate
brought that.
you having me on here, brother. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate you doing this for the culture. You know what I mean? Like it takes a lot to do what you're doing, connecting with people and asking them questions and just doing what you're doing, man. Yo, salute. You know what I'm saying? Respects and this is amazing, my brother. Keep doing it, man.
No, I appreciate you, man. Any last words you want to let anybody know? Burning in your heart, laying motherfucker. You learned this now. Anything or nah? You straight?
I mean, hey, you know what I'm saying? Keep going, keep training, keep creating. You know what I mean? Keep contributing to the scene. And don't take things personal, man. You know what I mean? Like learn about the culture before you come in. Learn about the culture and don't be afraid. Just do you. Fear is the number one killer out here. Everybody fears to be themselves. That's why they copying other people. You know what I'm saying? Because they fear to be themselves. They feel to get ridiculed or like, oh, you're whack or this and that. You know what I mean? Like, don't have no fear, man. Just do what you need to do. Don't go crazy though, taking it out of the breaking element. You know what I mean? Like, doing some weird, you gotta be breaking.